Hey, everybody, it's the champs.
You're about to be fucking with us, but before you fuck with us, we'd like to talk to you about fucking both yourself and your partner.
We got a sponsor, everybody.
Pretty good. This week's episode is sponsored by adamandeve.com.
Guys, for a limited time only, you'll get 50% off just about any item. When you select your one item at 50% off, you'll also receive 3 free adult DVDs plus a free extra gift. You're going to getting into some freaky shit.
Your copy reading skills are off the chain,
Thank you,
my friend. And to top it all off, we will even throw in free shipping on your entire order from adamandeve.com. So check out adamandeve.com today for this special offer. Doug, can they get a discount?
I rip your tongue out and lick my balls with it.
Doug, can they get a discount if they say our name?
They can get a 50% off one item when you type CHAMPS for the offer code upon checkout.
So you're not getting 50% off just for nothing.
Yeah.
You're getting 50% off because you fuck with the champs. So when you're getting ready to when you go
Wait
to
a second.
checkout,
If you buy like a 10-inch dildo, you don't get like a 5-inch dildo.
No, you get two.
You get half off the price,
No,
not
they
the
don't
actual
shave
dildo.
your gift in half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I just want to
that's
be clear.
a perfectly good question, though, Doug.
Okay.
And that's probably what a lot of our listeners were thinking.
And by the way, when you do, you get 3 free DVDs, a free extra gift, and free shipping. Just use the offer code CHAMPS, CHAMPS, at adamandeve.com. You're about to start fucking with us.
Who are you talking to right now?
Very quickly, we'd also like to tell you about some upcoming stand-up dates. Neal, where are you going to be?
Just go to nealbrennan.com. I've revamped it. I paid good green money. Nealbrennan.com. I got all my dates. You can see
this week's guest, Alonzo Bodden, at the Baltimore Comedy Factory over Valentine's weekend. And he will also be at the Rochester.
No, I am not there on the weekend. I'm there actually on Valentine's Day.
You see, you just ruined the illusion of you not being here. We were doing this before.
I'm trying to correct you.
Yeah, you're right. No, fair enough.
Shit
that I'm wrong about.
Right here. You're going to fuck up. Do it before I get here. I can't just sit here and I'm going to let him fuck this up.
Ladies and gentlemen, go to his website. It's FelipeEsparza.com.
Yes.
It's Alonzo Live. It's Alonzo Live. Is that what you said?
AlonzoLive.com.
AlonzoLive.com. You'll be at the Baltimore Comedy Factory on Valentine's
February 13th and 14th, and then Valentine's weekend, I will be at Daisy Duke's Comedy Club in Rochester, New York.
Yeah, so go see him. You can come fuck with me. Of course, my grand tour promoting my book release begins on March the 28th. I'll be at the Barnes & Noble in Hollywood at the Grove on the 28th. On the 30th, I'll be at Book Soup. And after that, I'll be all over the country doing readings and live stand-up.
He prefers to be treated like a dog.
And I do prefer
also
to be treated
a toilet.
like a toilet. MosheKasher.com. And go to Douggpound, at Douggpound on Twitter.
Sure, you can find all my live dates there.
All right, let's begin to fuck with the champs.
Yeah, Neal Brennan, all that shit. Doug, yo, drop. Drop some shit, Doug.
Now you're fucking with the champs.
You talk now? Yeah, you can talk now. Okay. Oh, just talk about podcast stuff? Ladies and gentlemen, you are fucking with the one and only champs. The champs are back with us. You just heard our first advertisement. It was a little long, but there was a lot of charisma involved in it, and I felt good about it.
Who knows if it'll be our first, but yeah. So thank you for hopefully the first of many, guys. We do this for the people, but once we've accumulated all of you,
I gotta get paid.
Well, I'm trying to get paid. These microphones didn't pay for this. The production on this show is easily $80 total.
Easily,
so we needed to get that back.
An intern is here again. Intern, yell hi. Yeah, man.
Yeah, Blackwell the intern.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest this week. Well, he speaks for himself. He's one last comic standing twice?
No, once.
Once, okay.
Oh, did you win?
I was a runner-up season 2 and winner season 3.
Oh, that's great.
I was staying quiet. I was maintaining the illusion of walking in. According to Moshe, Moshe likes me to maintain the illusion. I was going to just wait till he finished my rousing intro.
A very funny man, an amazing performer, and the winner of one of the biggest fucking stand-up comedy competitions of all time. You've seen him also all over the television. Is Alonzo Bodden, ladies and
gentlemen. Thank you.
There he is, everybody.
You're also a judge, too, right?
I was a judge on season 5, yeah.
What didn't you do?
The only thing I didn't do on that show is host.
Yeah. Were they considering you?
Not even thinking about it. They were like, no, we like stars to host. You run along.
They said run along.
They literally said run along.
Like, here's your trophy, now run along.
Quit hanging around.
Our first guest is
So you feel good?
No, it was a good run for me. I love the show.
Yeah, you love the show. I was just going to ask what your feelings on the show are.
I think I might be the only person from the first 2 seasons that left with a positive impression of the show. A lot of people were pissed, but no, it was all good for me.
In my opinion, are probably one of the best comics that was on. There was nothing hokey. There was no like sad story as to why. Like you weren't. Yeah. There was no. You just got by on being the best comic.
It was all I had. Like it's like, look, I got stand up and. Fuck, I got stand up.
I recognize you as a powerful talent.
That's what I ran with.
Well, yeah, but there was a lot of cats that got cut out. I mean,
Oh no! I'm
immediately.
Not saying, but I'm saying, yes,
it would be interesting to watch people who you would say. I mean, they're funny, but really, Robert Hawkins gets cut out, Arj Barker gets cut out, and
you know what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? And this person, and I'm not hating.
I'm going to tell you when I did the judging, like when I did the show. I didn't have an impression of the show because it was all about literally getting to next week.
Right.
Everything was about you got to survive one more week, and then you look up and you're like, oh, fuck, I'm in the finals, When I was a judge and we were traveling around and I got to see what was involved. I'll tell you what happens to great comics, why some great comics didn't make the show. You pick the wrong material on the wrong night.
Yeah, huh?
That's what it is. And there were people trying out who I had opened for.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I'm judging guys who I opened for, 10 years before that. But if you pick the wrong material on the wrong night and the audience doesn't laugh, no matter how great a comic we know you are,
right?
You can't just get by on rep. You can't just say, well I know this guy's funny.
Do you feel like you selected right, or did you pick material well, or you just happened to pick the right time?
Well, I knew how to pick material, and also like my act, I do set up punch, like that's how I write, so I can be funny in 90 seconds. You know what I mean? Like when they say you got 90 seconds, like I can go through my act and say, okay, I can do these 4 jokes in 90 seconds.
How much new material did you write during that show?
For season 3, I was doing new material every week, which was to me was a lot of fun.
You didn't dip into your
No, I used it all on season 2.
Oh, interesting.
And
what did you win? Season 3?
I won season 3
on new material.
Mostly new material.
This motherfucker.
Well, no, but you know why? Because America responded to the fact that like the way it worked, we'd be on the road Thursday through Sunday. Rehearsal Monday, shoot on Tuesday.
Would you be on the road together?
I was touring. We had different groups that toured. I toured with Gary Goldman and Jay London. The 3 of us were out.
This is
the end of season.
Show?
Okay, we did season 2. Right now, season 2 ends. John Heffron wins. I'm runner up. Gary Goldman came in 3rd. Kathleen Madigan was in the finals. Tammy Pescatelli. Corey Holcomb. Corey was in there. We had
Corey, and he is definitely a black guy.
Yeah, but when it came down to the finals, me and Corey knew only one of us was going to be in the final 5.
It's like an action movie.
There ain't going to be 2 brothers in the final 5, so one of us is going to. But anyway, so now we're touring, and it wasn't like the later on when NBC owned the tour. At that point, it was like, well, you do whatever you want to do. So we kind of broke off in a group. So I ended up touring with Gary and Jay. I think Heffron toured with Tammy and Corey, and Kathleen did her own stuff because she was already doing her own shit.
Yeah.
So we were going out and doing tour dates. So I'd come up with some shit Friday, Saturday, and then when we taped the show on Tuesday, if I got called, if I got picked, I would do it. But the reason America loved that is because they're like, oh shit, that just happened. You know what I mean? It was like being like,
oh, you were doing topical jokes.
Yeah, it was like being on a late night show. It was America loved that. They were like, he just did a joke about some shit that happened Sunday.
Yeah. Right.
And this other guy's doing a bit that he wrote some other time. And then the other thing was I didn't repeat any jokes. And at this time, when we did Last Comic, we did the biggest season, which was season 2, which peaked at like 12 million viewers. This is when it was still a big reality show. So online, people are following it and they're doing the forums and shit like that. And I developed the rep as the guy who never repeats a joke.
Right.
And I had a couple of friends who followed the online stuff. They were like, we don't want you reading it. It'll fuck your head up. We'll follow it. And they said, listen, you can't repeat a joke. Like the one thing everyone likes, because you build fans, you build momentum. Yeah. And they said, everything about you is he never repeats a joke. So they're like, so if you ever repeat a joke, this shit is over.
Did they repeat jokes on the show?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, people did it.
I thought they would edit those out,
because you might do something in auditions that you bring back in the semifinals.
Right.
You know what I mean? You might do the same bit, same joke, and
when you were on the show, did everyone like live together in the same house?
Yeah, we did the thing. We lived together in the castle for a month.
Did that suck?
It did for some people.
Well, so it was like
it was. I'll tell you, the weirdest thing about it is they pluck you out of your life, right? Like you have no communication, so there's no email.
You know, I kind of want to kill myself.
Nothing. And what they said about us, they were like, "Man, you guys are boring." Because if you've been around comics, it's like sitting in a comedy condo. It's not like you're sitting around being
wacky,
funny all the time. Now, Todd Glass was, because that's who Todd is. Todd's like fucking.
Turns out he was gay.
Living room fun. That's what.
Hell no.
Todd's good in the living room, and then you had Ant who liked to stir up shit.
Turns out he's gay.
Turns out he's gay.
Hell no.
And then who else would fuck with people? Corey would fuck with people just because he's being Corey.
Turns out he's black.
Yeah. And
Our first guest
and me and
is
Kathleen Madigan. We were like the grown-ups.
Right.
Yeah.
We were literally, people would come to us and say, "Hey, so and so did this," and me and Kathleen would be like, "What the fuck do I care?"
Yeah.
We had one fight in season 2.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we had one fight between Corey and Ant.
Come on.
It was a real fight, or did they
You
turn
can't
it on
write
for
that.
the
Could have
cameras
been
a little bit?
It could have been a real fight. We were driving through Hollywood in the bus, and Todd yells out to these two guys on Hollywood Boulevard.
got a big booty and you date a lot of dudes.
He's like, "Hey, you faggots!" Whatever.
Whoa.
Right?
Todd Glass said
Todd
that?
Glass.
To who?
Two guys on
big
the
booty
street.
and you
Two
date-
random guys on the street.
Todd yells, "You faggots"?
Yeah, to two random guys on the street.
Well,
this,
he can.
This is in 05. You could still yell faggot back then.
What was the cutoff?
So I think faggots stopped in 09.
In 09.
Definitely 2010. Ant gets pissed, and Ant says, "You yelling faggot is like," he said, like you wouldn't yell nigger, or he said it's like the same as you saying nigger or something, right? So Corey got mad at Ant.
It's a real nigga.
Now, I understood the context Ant was saying it in, so I didn't get pissed, but Corey got. But this
All
thing,
Corey heard was Ant saying nigger or something?
but this had been building between them for a while. Like there had been a tension building. So now it becomes one of the. And Ant likes to talk shit. And the funniest thing about it was, when you talk shit to somebody, but you reach that point where okay, don't say another word.
Yeah.
Like, because it got to the point, because I'm talking to Corey. I'm like, "Yo, Corey, don't fuck this up. This is a good shot for you, this or that." And Corey's like one step from, "Yo, fuck the TV show. Fuck my career. I'm about to
It gets better.
Yeah.
I'm about to fuck this guy up." And at that moment, Ant realized, okay, shut the fuck up, turn around and leave. And he did. And then the funny thing to us was after.
Shut the fuck
Now
up.
Ant goes to the producers and he's like, "I feel, I'm in danger." And so Ant checks into a hotel.
It's not a reality
They
show,
put the show
until a white person says, "I feel in danger around a black guy."
They put the shit on hold. Now they bring in lawyers and psychologists. And
They put the show
the show's on hold. Now we all have to talk to lawyers about what is proper and
For
what
how
you can
long?
say.
A
was,
day, 2 days?
It was like 3 days. It was
To
like 3 days.
clarify,
of
you
this shit.
guys, when you threaten each other and say faggot and nigger, these are all things that are not acceptable
Exactly.
on our television program.
Exactly. So, but you have 9 comics you're talking to. So me and Goldman, like we're friends. We're sitting there. So say the Jew calls me a nigger.
Right.
That's what you
And
guys
now-
are
right. and
throwing
now-
that out
now
in
the
these
lawyer,
sessions.
the lawyer's fucking losing their mind, right? And then Tammy's sitting over there like, "Okay, look at this bitch." We're literally doing this because to us it's fucking hilarious, and the lawyer is like, because this is an NBC
Hilarious.
equal employment lawyer. Like this is a straight-laced, they're used to dealing with accountants and fucking office people, and now she's got fucking comic calling each other anything we fucking want,
Yeah.
So it was funny to us, but it ended up, Heffron summed it up best, 3 days of our lives that we'll never get back.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing was bullshit, because Ant loved stirring up shit, because that was his publicity
Did
on the
Ant
show.
like it? Did Ant?
He loved the attention.
Right, but
Love the
isn't that the
attention.
thing about comics? So, I mean, that's the thing I like about comics is that it's these ridiculous, broken-ass people that are sitting around calling each other. Sometimes it flares into a thing like a Corey and Ant situation, but most of the time it's you and Gary calling each other
Right.
names across the bow of a lawyer's forehead or something.
So
all right, and then what do you get when you win?
When I won season 3, this was another thing that I love reminding Heffron. Heffron won season 2. He got $50,000, from which they deducted all the money they had paid him for the episodes leading to the finals.
Jesus.
Wow.
So he left with, I don't know, 20, 30 grand or something like that. Then I won season 3. They were like, yeah, here's 250 grand, done.
Damn.
So
I
I
think
got
And
that.
they gave you Heffron's money from the season.
Yeah, and then they gave me the money they held back from Hef. And no, we made a lot of money on season 3. There was like a weekly prize. That was
Nice.
good money. Except I had to pay the IRS. I was gonna go to Sinbad route and just say fuck the IRS, and then I said
Sail the 7 seas.
Did Sinbad not pay his taxes?
Sinbad owed $1 million. Sinbad
really?
had an IRS agent touring with him, collecting
for
money.
him?
Yeah. His IRS
So if you
agent.
look in the 1040 on page A, B,
Sinbad will be out in a second,
But who
guys. In the
else?
meantime,
Isn't Chris Tucker? Chris Tucker's losing a house right now.
Is he?
that
He's
doesn't surprise
losing a house in Miami.
me. Okay,
Tax
so
man don't fuck around.
So, but all right, walk us through your life. Like, walk us through the relevant chapters of your life.
It all started.
Where are you from?
I grew up in New York. Grew up in Queens, St. Albans.
I was born in Forest Hills.
Really?
Yeah.
We're like neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we should probably get out of here. Now, all right. So then So then, when did you start? When did you move out?
So, went to aviation high school. Learned to fix airplanes. Got licensed.
Oh, literally aviation high school.
Yeah, aviation high school, and it's in Long Island City. They train you to fix airplanes.
Wow.
What
That's
kind
so
of airplanes?
specific.
Like commercial jets or
Anything.
Like,
I was
so specific.
Once you're licensed, you can work on anything from a Cessna 150 prop plane to a 747.
I went to
Wow.
pussy
So-
eating high school, and you know what they taught me there?
That was better.
Yeah, better.
That was better. I couldn't get in. I couldn't
Yeah,
get
I'm a-
in there.
I'm a
They
CPE.
didn't believe
CPE.
they didn't believe a brother was qualified
That's
to
right.
eat pussy. It was like eating pussy and swimming. We ain't taking you in.
You know, when
Swimming
you go
in
to
pussy.
for a brother to get ahead in pussy in high school, you got to eat twice as hard
That's
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
to get half
See,
as
you
far.
know.
So you aviation.
I love
high
Moshe,
school.
by the way. He's
love
fucking
you too.
hilarious.
So aviation high school.
So I graduated, was hired by Lockheed in Burbank. That's when I moved to L.A.
Were
And-
you excited to get hired in Burbank?
Oh hell yeah! Yeah.
Did you want to
Because
be in show business?
No, I wanted out of New York though. I wanted
it.
to move west.
And you were
So-
18, 19.
18, yeah. So actually, I wasn't
So
even
did
18.
you take normal
I was
classes,
17.
or it was all just like
No, it was
fucking cogs?
You did 5 normal classes. English, social studies, math, whatever. And then our school day was long. We had 7 periods in the 10th and then 9 in the 11th and 12th because you had to take 4 periods of shop besides the regular 5.
And was your school uniform like a leather jacket with like a sheep collar and
No,
a scarf?
I wish we
It was
had
just
aviators.
an orange. It was an orange vest.
Yeah.
Right.
with those
Yeah,
with
with
long
2 lights.
flashlights.
Yeah, 2 long flashlights.
That's how they
So-
get you into. That's what the crossing guards had.
That's right.
Get it? Because it was an aviation
Yeah,
high
no, I'm
school.
with you.
Everybody, do you understand
Yeah.
now?
We got it.
And
You
guess
would
what?
get-
You know what they served at the cafeteria? It was peanuts. But if there was somebody with an allergy, it'd be just cookies.
Yeah. Sun chips.
So
All right. So all right. What year is that?
that's 80.
Okay.
1980. I actually graduated and got hired at 17, and then I had to wait till I was 18 to move
Okay.
because Lockheed wouldn't hire me under it. So that was a great fucking year.
So were you considered a good mechanic? Were you like? Did they recruit you?
Yeah. Well,
Did they really?
This is the way it worked. If you graduated from aviation high school, you had a job waiting. Because Lockheed had got the contract to build the stealth fighters, they needed like thousands of employees.
Got it.
And they stumbled across this school.
This stool.
They stumbled over a stool and fell in aviation
And
high
fell
school.
in yeah.
They stumbled
That
on
is
this
essentially
school
the black experience.
where everybody was trained to fix airplanes. So they're like, holy shit, like a fucking workforce.
Yeah.
They were ecstatic.
But
so they were
isn't
like,
Lockheed, isn't that
Right.
more of a missile company?
yeah, it's a defense company. So anyway, so I get hired. I moved to L.A. Now it turns out I was a good airplane mechanic, which helped me over
Did
the
anybody
years.
else from your school come with?
About 600 of us.
Damn.
Really?
Yeah,
How
over
so?
a
How many people
2-year
were in-
period.
Okay. So how
Over-
big was your class?
Graduating class, mine was 600. But
Okay,
over the 2 years Lockheed was hiring, they got somewhere like 500-600 guys, and it was kind of like guys would come out, they'd get settled, get an apartment, get whatever. Then some other guy would come out, and you'd be like, "Hey man, let me crash with you till I get my shit together." And so that was kind of how we migrated. There was an apartment building that became like Little New York. It was like a complex of 3 buildings, and we were all living in there and working.
Smelled like piss.
Yeah, we pissed on the wall, and we were new to Mexicans. We kept calling them Puerto Rican. We were like, the fuck.
So then how long did you fix planes for?
So 10 years of fixing airplanes, and it started out great working for Lockheed, building stealth fighters. Got promoted real fast, so I was working I worked on a plane when it didn't have an engine, but it had everything else. So it was all this top secret shit that, we're working with and I'm fucking 19, 20, and I'm working with top secret government technology and
You thought, I'm going to parlay this into a career in comedy.
So then they started laying me off, and I bounced around, did a bunch of other stuff. Now, at the same time, started getting high. Cocaine was rather prevalent in the 80s. You guys are young. You may not know this.
I'm from Oakland.
Smoke weed every day.
What? Can't I do you?
No, somebody said that you bring up Oakland every.
Yeah,
they're like, he keeps talking about how he's from Oakland.
It's my Chappelle.
No, I know, but I haven't brought Chappelle up.
Oh, but you just brought
That shit's some Bay Area shit, Northern California.
Okay, so when did you start? When was the first time you sniffed your first line of coke?
Then my first line of coke probably 78.
Great.
Yeah, and then 80. I mean, it was literally when they, the famous line that cocaine's not addicting, which is what they said. So I'm bouncing around, I'm working, I'm doing this, but I'm also getting high and like starting to fuck up, but it's cool.
That's okay.
I'm doing different jobs in different cities. So like I went to New York, we rebuilt a plane there. I was there for about 5 months. Then I went to Puerto Rico, lived there for like 4 months. Then, believe it or not, I went to Oakland.
Boom! I created that. I'm the co-creator.
Yeah, and that was I was there for 9 months.
That shit's some Bay Area shit, Northern California.
What were you doing in Oakland?
I worked for World Airways, and then from there it was Dallas, and then I ended up back at Lockheed, and that's how I lived. So I lived that way, just bouncing around the country, fixing planes for about 5 years, and then it all bottomed when I got back to LA, went back to Lockheed, and that's when I got sober.
I don't want to get to that yet. I want to get to.
That's what happened.
You want some more information on specific airplanes?
I want.
Did you bottom out?
Oh yeah.
No, I want to know about what is it wilder being on the road as a comic or being a cokehead in Oakland?
Now, let me ask you: is it wilder being on the road as a comic, being a cokehead in Oakland, or being a airplane mechanic?
This is very disrespectful.
Being on the road as a comic.
It's wilder.
Yeah.
Just because you have access to more.
You have access to more shit, and you're special.
Right.
When you're an airplane mechanic, you're just a fucking airplane mechanic.
But what if you got coke?
Even then, you're just an airplane mechanic with coke. You know who's the stars in the airline industry? Pilots.
Right.
Pilots are the rock stars. You know that.
Who fucks pilots?
Me.
Stewardesses, flight attendants.
Oh, do they really?
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, they don't want to fuck some greasy mechanic. They want to fuck the pilot.
Well, what if you what if you took a shower and you weren't
Even
greasy?
Then, they're like, nah, you're nah.
Do the flight attendants ever go up in the? Do you know anything about the inner workings of the sexual habits of flight attendants?
If he wasn't breathing like that, it'd be a good question. But the breathing.
That's him breathing. I'm just talking. He's breathing.
The sexual.
Do they have sex?
Man, I'm not with that, all right?
Shit, I don't know. I wasn't in the cockpit while I was flying.
Okay, so but were you getting copious amounts of ass in the 80s and pre-AIDS?
No, man, no.
I'm just slutty.
I was fucked up. I was getting high.
Oh, you would rather get high than
I'd rather get high than chasing pussy, man. Pussy.
So what?
Pussy's pussy, man.
Pussy is pussy. That cannot be denied.
That's right.
Yeah, that's all.
So what's your pee game like on the road then? Can you talk about that?
Well, as a comic, and you guys know, you guys do the road. Your pussy is like it's in stages, right? So when you first go out on the road, you're working shitty one-nighters in little towns, but you have a headshot on the wall.
Right.
Plant the seed.
So she'll fuck you because you're the comic. So she's got a story. You saw that guy in the paper? I fucked him Saturday. Like that. That's the pussy you get when you're on the road. When you start out as a road comic, right? But you're fucking Missoula, Montana, and Lubbock, Texas. You ain't exactly rolling through Miami. You on third tier.
Right.
Road pussy, but it's road pussy, and it can be very good, very good road pussy. And then
Come fuck with your boy. What about it?
Third tier is still a tier. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. That's right.
That's still a tier.
And I didn't go to pussy eating high school. I was getting
you were at a disadvantage.
I was getting that with
at an
fucking
economic
open mic skills,
educational disadvantage, having not been in the charter school.
No. Okay, so then and walk us through the rest of the.
So
that's the first time you go out.
So well, here's the switch. This is when it happened. I'm working for McDonnell Douglas and I'm training new.
I'm talking about road pussy.
No,
but I got to get.
He's getting.
I got to get to comic. I got to get to how I became a comic before I got any road pussy. So I'm training new comics. I'm making them laugh, and I said I want to be a comic. And this girl I was going out with threw me one of those ads for a comedy class. I took the comedy class. I did the 5 minutes, and that was it.
You're one of the rare funny dudes that started in comedy school.
Absolutely hooked. I said, "This is it. I ain't doing shit else." How
old were you?
I was 30.
30.
I got laid off by McDonnell Douglas like a couple of weeks later.
Did you know you were going to get laid off?
Yeah, I knew I was getting laid off, and I just said I'm not going to work on planes again. And then I just started banging the open mics and then going on the road.
You made a commitment. I'm never fixing another plane in my life. Mm-hmm. And a lot of planes have crashed as a result of that.
Numerous have gone down. It's been horrible.
They were like, Alonzo, please help.
I said I'm not fixing cruise ships, and you see what the fuck happened there.
Yeah. You do a lot of cruise
ships? I leave shit alone.
Do you do a lot of cruise ships?
I do a charter cruise, which is the jazz cruise. I don't like doing the regular cruise gig where you're just on Princess Cruise. That's fucking brutal. That's when comedies work.
Yeah,
it's a job. You check in and you get up there and you monkey it up for 10 minutes clean, and then you get to say damn on the Saturday night show. It's a great gig if you want a regular job, but the cruises I do, it's a charter cruise, so it's a whole different thing. It's my own
jazz
show.
Cruise, yeah.
You know what cruise I do, of course.
The pussy eating
It's a pussy eating cruise. That's right. Yeah, pussy eating cruise.
Problem is no pussy on the cruise. They just walk around saying, "Man, I could eat some pussy if we had some."
When we talk about techniques, we trade stories about famous pussies we've eaten.
So you stop. This is 90.
That's the worst.
This is 93.
93. You're like, fuck it, I'm doing it.
I'm a comic, and that was it. So then I just started banging open mics, and
you got sober already?
Yeah, I was 5 years sober when I first did comedy, which is another reason I got into it, because I got sober at a place called Studio 12. So in the 80s, the stars went to Betty Ford, and the crew went to Studio 12. So I got sober amongst a bunch of guys who were like grips and lighting guys and makeup and wardrobe and all of that. But they were the ones who were like showed me the entertainment business is real. Because if you're not around this shit, you don't believe it. You know what I mean? Like when I'm going to Lockheed fixing airplanes and somebody's like, "Man, you could be on stage," like, "Man, fuck out of here."
Yeah.
I'm putting an engine in today. But when you're around people who do it, and they're like, "Yeah, man, these people are fucking idiots. You're smarter than them. You could do this."
Right.
And that's what gave me the confidence to make the jump.
Now, do you ever get like emails from cats in the program, sober people who are like, "Oh, you're such an inspiration.
Yeah.
I want to do comedy too. What do I do?"
Yeah.
What do you tell them?
I tell them to get up there and do it.
I tell them, don't. That's my recommendation.
Really?
Don't do it. Save yourself.
Is that true?
That's true. And then I put a caveat in it. I say, if you can't not do it, here's my advice.
You know what famous comic tells people that? Leno.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's Leno saying. He says, "Don't do it. Don't even try it." And he says
he just wants to corner the market.
If I can tell you don't do it and you don't do it, then you
shouldn't have done it. I agree. I think it's people that coddle those people who create the distillation of our entire industry, which is why there's so much garbage comedies, because nobody's willing to just be like, "You aren't," and I'm not willing to do it either. I'm not cruel, but somebody needs to be like, "You're not fucking funny. Stop."
It's like a pyramid. So if you're not funny, you will fall out of it, because you can only live so long not being funny. Some not funny make it. You know what I mean?
Well, they can eke out a living, but I don't think they make it.
No, some make it big.
Some make it
because they fool people. If you have a trick, you can fool people. You know what I mean? And you can make it big, but you're really not
How
that funny.
big?
It's like
Thank you.
Like pop stars versus musicians.
Right. I always
you could be a pop star. You could be a pop star, have a big hit or whatever, make a bunch of money, but you're not a musician. You know what I mean? You can't go into a room full of music. I mean, Kanye West is not a musician. If Kanye West walks into a room, and there's fucking musicians in there, he's like, "Well, I don't fucking play anything." You know what I mean? Like he produces.
Kanye is a bad example because he writes music.
No, but he knows how to make a sound. But what I'm
one of your
saying,
buddies
he's
is
not a
Kanye West.
musician.
Is
He's
that
not
true?
like a master musician on a piano, on a saxophone, on a guitar.
Oh, yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? No, he knows how to make sound. I'm not saying that.
If he enters a room of
creates
musicians,
sound.
they will all run to him for studio work.
And
yeah,
he
because
also
he's going to
for
get. They're
session
going to
work.
make a fortune. you
I think
know?
he's a bad example
And he
because
describes
he's a
himself like
legit,
that.
he's
Yeah,
a legit
but you know-
musician.
But he
But
does
that's what
describe
I mean.
himself like that. He says, I make sound.
Enrique
Well, one of your buddies is Kanye West. Is that true?
Is the best example of that.
Okay.
Where he's just got no.
Enrique Iglesias
Can't even sing.
Can we? But a better example might be someone that anyone knows what he sounds like at all. 'Cause
Enrique Iglesias.
I don't really
all
have
I need
any.
is the Rhythm Divine.
Can you sing it for us?
I actually have a recording of him that's taken from a
Spell show?
soundboard that is fucking hilarious. It's so fucking bad. It's, and it's you can't believe how bad it is.
In comedy, some people get by fooling people, but for the most part, you have to be funny.
Yeah.
Because at some point, it's just going to be you and a microphone, and it's like, okay, what do you got? You know.
Did anyone? We'll get back to pussy in a second. But did anyone challenge you on with the "I know I'm funny" than Alonzo?
No, I was a what we called a challenge off guy. So the way it worked is.
It's from
Last Comic.
Okay,
right.
cool.
The way it works is you say I know I'm funnier than. So like if the three of us say I know I'm funnier than Doug, then he has to go on, and you have to pick one of us to go against, right? But if you didn't want to go up that week, then you say I know I'm funnier than somebody who no one else is going to challenge, and now you're out of the mix.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was one of the guys that people would use to say, look, I don't want to fuck around this week. I know I'm funnier than Alonzo, because they knew like 5 people weren't going to challenge me. And me and Kathleen were kind of like that.
Yeah.
And it was just, it was cool. I mean, it was a sign of respect. It was a whatever. And the best thing for me was when we went to the semifinals, and it was me, Corey, and Heffron, and 2 of us were going to make the finals and 1 wasn't. On that episode, do you talk about choosing material? I chose the right material. I killed on that one, and they said, oh, you got more votes than both of them combined. And in the paper they wrote, now we know why nobody challenged him.
Got it.
So I went into the finals with like, oh, this guy's good. And then it got to the semifinals, like, oh, fuck, he's black, though. So let's not all vote for him. You know?
Right.
Well, here's the deal. I want to ask you about what you think about this. I believe, and I'm glad that because you're a funny dude and you deserved all the success that you got as a result of it. But I think that competitions are cancer to comedy. I mean, it's like having a painting competition. Like, who's the dopest artist?
They have that show. It's called Work of Art.
Oh, they do. Oh, and are those reality shows adding to or taking away from our artistic reality in the world?
I think it's a push.
It's just a fun show. It's not
this is the way
either.
I look at it. This is the way I look at it. I mean, from a business point of view, it's the only thing that was putting comics in prime time.
That's
right. So you got to do it. But I looked at it this way: when Isaiah Thomas won MVP of the All-Star game, he said, "Today I am the best basketball player in the world." Like just today, you know what I mean? So it's not
right.
So in other words, like winning Last Comic Standing, you're not the greatest comic on earth. You're not the funniest guy to ever live. In this situation, at this moment, right, I'm the guy
in that scenario.
Yeah, I'm the guy today. Today, I'm the funniest guy on TV.
But is that the idea? Is the idea to be funnier than everyone else, or is the idea to be as funny as you are?
I think it's
if you're in a competition,
I don't think
you go for the win.
No, and I'm not hating on anyone that was on. I tried out for the show.
I know what you're saying.
I tried out for the show.
You can't measure comedy. It's not like basketball. There isn't a score at the end of the day. So you can't say, for instance, I don't know, that you can't say that, is Jerry Seinfeld funnier than Larry the Cable Guy, and is Larry the Cable Guy funnier than Chris Rock?
No.
On any given, it depends on who you ask. If you're in Walmart, Larry the Cable Guy is the funniest fucking guy who's ever lived.
I don't think anyone thinks whoever won Last Comic Standing is the best comedian in the world.
Right, and I'm not saying that it's fooled the world into thinking comedy should be a competition. I guess what I'm saying is that everyone on there was an artist and had their own voice and their own unique thing. And the difference between your comedy and Heffron's and Corey Holcomb's comedy is so vast, that it's like, really, I mean, look, I get it. I'm not an idiot. Like, the pragmatics of it is you wanted to win it, to be successful, to be exposed to the world. But really, everybody should have just been appreciated. Like, wow,
right?
Look
But
at these funny.
But there are more people got exposed to these guys than any other situation. I don't think comedy's worse off as a result of Last Comic Standing.
Last Comic was so good for comedy. Every comedy club owner in America loved that show.
Yeah.
Because they said
numbers
every comedy club, the numbers went up. Business, because people had forgotten about stand-up.
Yeah.
You know, because in the early 90s, there were like a dozen stand-up shows, and it was too much. It was oversaturated. And if you talk to comics who were around back then, they'll all tell you, like, unfunny people were headlining because there was so many jobs. You know, they had to fill the spots. And then people are like, fuck it, I'm not going. This place ain't funny.
Alonzo, I got a question.
But Last Comic brought it back, you know, and comedy clubs had a boom across the country. They loved it. So they wanted the show to keep going.
Can you still, if you had to, still fix a plane? Like if there was a show called Last Plane Flying?
I wouldn't be the best at it, but
you'd be better than us.
I'll tell you what's funny about that. My licenses are still good.
Wow.
You're licensed for life.
I'm no longer a licensed.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I'm no longer a licensed sign language interpreter.
Yeah. No, you're
what about pussy?
Pussy, that's for life. I wish I could eat this pussy for life.
You don't have to go to the DFV for that?
Here's the thing about fixing airplanes. There's no way to learn how to fix every airplane. What they teach you is how to understand the manual.
Oh, that's interesting.
You have to learn how to read, how to find the parts, how to replace the parts, how to do it. But it's impossible. There's too many aircraft and too many different things, so that it's impossible to know all of them.
Okay, so you become a comic.
It's amazing.
I want to talk about
just
planes
kicked
again.
into the plane thing.
I love the plane thing.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's cool.
We'll come back to that later.
All right, so you became a comic. I want to get back to road pussy.
Both things.
What's the next tier of pussy?
The next tier of pussy after initial road pussy is probably, well, let's see. There's
minor celebrity second tier.
Yeah, there's second tier pussy. There's you've been on TV pussy.
But that's not you've won Last Comic.
No, that's you've been on TV.
What TV did you get the most pussy from?
I'd say Last Comic.
Okay, but before that, prior to that, that's a tough one.
I ain't getting no BET pussy, none.
Not even the girls that sat up on the stage with you, or the animated girls that danced next to the palm trees.
No BET. Well, no, that's not true. I did hook up on BET. Hooked up with a producer. I gotta correct myself.
Oh, great.
I did hook up with
White
a producer. Girl? No, sister, but not in any position of power that could lead me to more shows.
She was in a
BET.
position of power afterward, though.
You know what I mean?
If you know what I'm saying. Do you know what I'm saying?
Instead of telling people they're wrong, ask questions.
So, Alonzo.
So, you know, here's the thing about road pussy. This has been my experience on any level. Okay, you have a 45-minute window from when you come off stage in that club. You are the coolest motherfucker on earth for 45 minutes.
Yep.
You cannot go farther than the bar across the street. Because once you go farther than that, they don't know who you are.
It's like the holodeck on the Enterprise.
You for 45 minutes though. That was you. That was
Yeah,
that was
and
me.
you also can't hang out at the bar too long because then you become like just like this guy.
You're creepy now.
Yeah.
Now you're fucking pitiful because you're still there. But you got a 45-minute window where crazy shit happens. I mean, shit like I had the first threesome was. The chick walks up.
The first threesome in human history.
The first threesome from
Black really don't crack.
The first threesome from comedy. She literally walked up. She's like, "My friend has the biggest titties in here. She wants you to see them."
Yes.
And I was like,
I do stand up.
Like absolutely.
Yes, I can judge those too. And and that airplane mechanic, that never happens. You never walk by the baggage carousel and some chick is like, "Hey, listen, you with the flashlights, get over here."
Yeah.
That never happens.
My friend has the smallest titties.
Did you bring condoms with you?
So that's the second tier. The second tier.
You had to go off campus for the first three.
You know what the second tier of road pussy is? Headlining.
Right. Yeah.
When you become the headliner.
Yeah.
But the best middle act pussy I ever saw, but at the time it was like, I don't know if you could legitimately call him a middle act, but he was on this tour. I did a tour with Ian Bagg. It was Ian, me, Dane, and Brewer. Mm-hmm. And this is before Dane was superstar. Dane is, and so he was like the feature in the show.
What were you doing, theaters or something?
Yeah, we did a tour through Canada. It was like watching James Bond. We were amazed at the pussy. Like it was like the women knew, like I'm gonna fuck him now. Yeah, because I'm not going to get to fuck him in 2-3 years, But we were just amazed. We were like, this fucker doesn't even try.
Right.
Like he just literally.
Was he crushing harder than you guys?
No, I don't think so. I think we were
about equal.
Well, no, Brewer was the star because this is late '90s, so this is when Brewer's fucking Goat Boy coming off Saturday Night Live, so he's the superstar.
Right. I have I have some thoughts on this.
And
certain people have sex oozing from them when they perform.
Yeah.
And I've been told I do. But no, but I'm
You have the biggest dick I've ever seen, man.
The other part. Certain people just have that. Even if they're crushing on an equal level, everybody's equal, somebody's crushing with sex dripping from
Even
them.
then, he was a rock star.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a different kind of energy.
Did he fuck the stool?
No.
He didn't fuck the stool.
No,
and none
not
of his
back then.
bits.
Not back then. No stool fucking.
But
I don't think he ever did fuck the stool.
he's not a stool fucker.
No.
But that was like, you were like, wow, that's, and then the next level of pussy, and this was very cool.
This is third level we're at right now?
this is a whole different level.
Oh, this is fourth dimensional.
This is old master shit. This
this
shit
is Jedi pussy.
You youngsters need to write this down, because when I heard it, I knew the definition. I was middling. I was middling for Dom Herrera.
Oh, Dom Herrera level pussy.
This girl, she wanted, it was like all about Dom, and Dom said, you know when you're famous? When your friends can get pussy because they know you. I got pussy because I knew Dom Herrera. That put Dom on another level in my book.
Where was this?
Tempe Improv.
Wow.
Tempe, yeah.
What year?
Ooh, this what? 98.
Yeah,
maybe.
That makes sense.
98.
Neal, do you know anyone famous?
I know a couple people that are famous.
Who you got?
I don't want it. I don't like talking about it.
Okay.
I think it's bad form. Okay.
So that's all you got to do is be friends with someone.
So what?
No, that's how famous he is. In other words, when you get to the point, like if you can get some pussy because you know Moshe.
Wow.
That's how famous Moshe is.
It'll
that
happen,
you
man.
get pussy because you know him. Like that's another level.
That's a hilarious idea, though. You know Dom Herrera? I will suck your dick.
Yeah, but it's never that direct. It's more
never
just
that
like,
direct,
you
but
tell
you're-
one Dom anecdote. Yeah, it's crazy because Dom,
Big black titties and asses.
Right.
we were like, me and Dom was talking about, and then it's like, we should go. You're cute. I
Yeah,
like you.
yeah, exactly.
And also doing well, as I'm sure if you're middle, I'm sure you did well.
Yeah. I mean, at that time, I was the middle who wanted to be the closer. You know what I mean?
you were the
Like,
hungry middle.
you're good enough. Yeah,
You're the dude that's making intense eye contact with the headliner as you go off stage.
Yeah, well,
Have
no,
fun up there,
it's like
man.
that's when I didn't mind middling for like Dom or for Damon Wayans.
Right.
But if I was middling for some guy I never
Right.
heard of, it was like, oh fuck, your ass is
Your ass is
I'm
my-
taking your job.
That middle is the
by
worst.
Sunday, you're gonna hate me.
You know what's funny?
That dude is the worst. I hate that guy.
Yeah.
You must hate him now too. I mean,
No,
You and him can kiss my
I get his instinct, but I'm just like, I don't want to hear how you usually headline. I'm happy for you.
Everyone
you know?
says that. That's bullshit, and I
Yeah.
would never say it. But you know who I don't understand? The guy who's happy being in the middle.
Right.
I never.
You
was
never
like,
will be
fucking
famous.
kidding? Like when I started, like my second year, I was on the road opening for Tommy Davidson, and I fucking wanted his job then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I had no idea what the fuck I was doing, but I was like, man, listen,
Right.
I want to be him. What the fuck being me?
How do you be him? Fuck being me.
Fuck being me. I want to be him. You know,
That's
and
funny.
it was.
I got no beef with the hungry middle either. I like when that middle
I do.
thinks
I'm
he
good.
buried you, and you're like, let's see what
But
happens.
it's like this. It's not. I don't worry when someone's crushing. I'm not worried like, oh no, I'm not gonna do well. I'm worried like, oh, I'm gonna have to retrain all of these people's brains in order to get into my comedy dimension. Like because he's going. It's usually on the road. It's
Well-
usually some dude that's like crushing with some shit that's like, okay,
like
I
local
get,
hacky,
local
yeah.
stuff.
Well-
but that's the most obvious example, or just like ranty, like what's up with you got to beat your kids and we got to do, it. And then you got to be like, all right, let's wipe the palate clean and start
Right.
over. Well, how about a foppish Jew?
But that's somebody that's because bookers don't know how to put together shows.
Yeah.
And they don't know who should work with who. But I feel if you can't follow the middle, then you shouldn't be closing. Like sometimes,
I agree.
like you get closers who say, okay, don't do this, don't do that. Now
like
it's one
what?
thing if it's something, that you do and you just
if
don't
it's
want
basically the same joke,
Right.
then don't do it.
But when you're like, listen, don't be so funny so I can follow you.
yeah. Well, you know what's
No,
funny?
that's
and I
bullshit.
talked
But what
to-
about this? What about don't do a bunch of crowd work? Because I'll tell a middle don't do, because I do a lot of crowd work in my headlining
But see,
set.
that's because the booker shouldn't have that middle in front of you. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like it was like I did a show one time with Damon Wayans, and that's a bad combination because we are we're not that similar, but we're some. You know what I mean? It was just like that's not the guy for me to be middling for. Like when I middle for Tommy Davidson and Tommy's super high energy and does 100 characters, that's one thing. But Damon, me and Damon, our energy level is about the same.
Right.
And we both just kind of talk. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like bad idea.
Yeah.
You know, not and
Make a good point. Thank you.
you got but it's up to the booker. The booker has to know how to do it. I know black comics who won't work with a black middle. They're like, I want a white guy in the middle.
Before. It's
Oh,
weird.
I know.
I want a white guy in the middle because
Have I ever told you the story of how I used to open for Bruce when he would come to town?
He's the blackest white guy I fucking know.
Black boy, yeah.
Oh, we talked about Black Boy.
Yeah, we talked about it on here. Yeah. Okay, so
I only take Asians.
I feel like there
That's
was
not true.
Yeah.
I feel like you were going somewhere with another level of pussy. Oh, the Dom level.
Dom level. So that's fourth dimension.
That's a different. That's a sidetrack. That's a level of fame.
Right.
That's a level of fame to shoot for. When your friends get pussy because
at this
you're
point, I think Dom would rather fuck a calzone.
Maybe, yeah, and you know what that is? That's when you're tired of pussy. That's when you played the game to the point where you're like, listen, is there gonna be effort involved?
You know, Dom sleeps till like 2 in the afternoon every day now.
Whoa,
it's fucking now. I'm not. Crazy. Dom probably woke up at like 1:30. Me and Dove used to meet, and Dove Davidoff used to meet at 9:30 every day, and Dom would go, I don't know how the fuck you guys do it.
I gotta tell you, the idea of that terrifies me. Not on any level other than I always think of comedy as a bunch of lost boys, like just a bunch of people that cannot and will not grow up. And the idea of of me living the way I'm currently living until I'm like 60, 65 years old, single, playing Xbox until 4 o'clock in the morning, and then working only on the weekends 45 minutes a night is terrifying.
What about it's terrifying? What about it? Explain what's terrifying. Because you're Alonzo, you're 50 something, right?
Yeah, I just hit. I'll be 50 in June.
Right. So you find what's the difference between your lifestyle now and your lifestyle 20 years ago?
I'm not chasing it as much.
You also started.
I started late. I started at 30. And when I say I'm not chasing it as much, I mean that. Like the road pussy thing, has no appeal to me anymore, unless it's easy and it's right there. It's like I don't want to play the game. I don't want. It's like now I got to figure out are you gonna leave shit like that. You know what I mean? Because there's no new road pussy. You know what I mean? It's like every now and then there's some chick who's gonna have a fucking talent. And you're gonna be like, wow, I didn't know that existed.
Walk me through some of the talents you've seen in your travels. Top 3 talents.
A chick who could deep throat anybody, anything. It was remarkable.
One of the airplanes you used to fix?
She had video. It was like, wow, and it was like, yeah, that ain't no joke. She had video. She had video.
So she would be like, I'll suck your dick. You'd be like, no, I'm not interested. She'd be like, wait, but let me just show you the video.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, let me show you.
Do you have a VCR handy?
It was like, let me show you. And I
do you
was
recall
like,
Johnny
wow.
Carson?
So that was a remarkable talent.
Sure.
That was a great road.
She went to the sister school, actually, to the Pussy Academy.
So she was deep throating you, and then you would stick other things up there just to.
It was like, are you hollow inside? Honestly, are you know? And then I would say the threesome, the big titty threesome, just because that was cool because that was like one of those. Yeah, whenever you're in town. So
great.
that was a cool.
What town
thing.
was it in?
And that was also in Arizona.
If I go to Arizona, I would like to go to Arizona and test how famous you are by emailing those girls and saying, "Hey, it's me, Moshe Kasher. I'm in town. Alonzo's friend."
Yeah.
They'd be like, "Not interested."
The next story will it'll come to me. It'll.
That's pretty great, though.
Yeah.
How many times do you take them up on the big titty Tempe?
That lasted for about what was the town? Payson or something? It was like one of those towns. It was like an hour outside of Phoenix.
Well, no big market girls would do that.
Right. But that lasted for a few years. That lasted for like 3 years. 3-4 years. That's whenever great. I was in Arizona,
and you would just end up doing one-nighters in Payson for like $80,
or you're in Tempe. Shit, an hour ain't that far to drive. You know,
for three-way. It's a half hour per girl.
Neal, you got any good threesome stories?
I've never had a threesome.
Never.
No.
Wow.
Never had a threesome.
Really?
Any chance I look like maybe it was going to happen, something would get botched.
That surprises me.
No, I know. I just never.
It's been my experience. I guess some people know how to make it happen. It's been my experience. Stay out of the way because they want to do it, it's not like I'm doing these every weekend, so I got no fucking thing. But it's happened a few times. But every time it's happened, it was something they wanted to do, and you're just the guy. Like, you just got picked.
It's not about
you're
you.
The stunt
it's
dick.
about them. Yeah.
You're the stunt dick. This is something they want to do, and it's like.
But I paid them $90 a piece. Why would they already?
A comic's the perfect stunt dick because he's leaving town one day. So it's not like he ain't going to be around, and there's not going to be a thing of, oh, he fell in love with her instead of me or anything. It's like they know, like, look, you're passing through town. This is good, and it's a great story.
Can I rape you anally?
See, when you ask, it's not so much rape. Anytime you ask permission,
particularly with such a
you've
polite
ruined
tone.
it.
Oh man.
You stay out of the way, and it's not like, hey, let me get in.
Yeah, no. You.
What do you do? It's not really a threesome if you're totally out of the way.
No. Once you're in, you're in. But I'm saying when they're deciding who's going to be the guy. You can't you can't just talk to two girls who are friends. Like, I guess some guys could. Like that's pimp level shit when you can talk two girls who are friends into both fucking you at the same time and they had no intention of doing it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Have you had you've made it happen? Three-way?
I may have made it happen.
Go ahead.
Most of my threesome stories are pretty bad. I usually had very awkward.
You know what's a bad threesome? When she's so big that just her counts as a threesome. That's a bad threesome.
Now that, ladies and gentlemen, that is a bad threesome.
That's a bad threesome. Put a hacks out there.
Big booty,
Put a
and you
hacks
gain a lot
out
of
there.
dudes.
You go ahead and take that one.
I have had.
I'm a beef snob.
I'm personally a beef snob. I've had 3 experiences with group sex. 2 were really bad. And actually,
specific.
I've had 4
Please
experiences
be
with group
specific.
sex. One time, I got a blowjob at a sex party in front of a group of people, and that was very weird.
How did you end up at the sex party?
What do you mean?
Did you?
Hell no!
But did you found it online or something?
It was a thing in San Francisco that was happening called Kinky Salon.
It's like an Eyes Wide Shut kind of situation.
Is San Francisco near Oakland, perhaps?
You've heard of my town. So there was this.
That shit's some Bay Area shit, Northern California.
Yeah, that's E40's voice, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell. So I went to a group sex party and this is actually an interesting. Are you going to do the fucking crickets, you piece of shit?
No,
I can see you.
This is a great story. Just tell it.
You fucking piece of shit.
So it was like a Burning Man.
I'm a beef snob.
So it's like a Burning Man situation where you had to go in costume, and I remember the costume that I wore was.
What kind of venue is this?
It's in like a big kind of long San Francisco style railroad house that has been turned into an event space.
This is your first one? Like, you started out in costume?
Yeah, that's right.
You have to work up to that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you sex party orgy, well, we showed up in costume.
That's San Francisco.
That can't be your first story.
When you murdered the girl at the end of the night.
So I was dressed in one of those onesie gas station attendant kind of outfits, you know,
like what Alonzo used to wear,
coveralls. That's right, exactly.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. And I remember, this is true. I had it zipped all the way down to almost to my dick, and I had this Alf doll. Actually, this Alf doll has been given away.
Costumes and Alf doll.
That's great.
By the way,
there's no way this was his first
Elf,
one.
The threesome and the third.
There's no way this was his first
So
one.
wait, let's check this out. This Alf doll was eventually given away as a gift in a podcast, in one of Doug Benson's podcasts. So if there's some listeners out there, this is a very eventful Alf.
You've seen a lot, yeah.
So anyway, that Alf doll was kind of perched on the front of the coverall, and this girl, I walked up to this girl. This is how intense the sexual energy was. I was like, "Hey, why don't you say hi to Alf?"
Where was Alf?
Alf was in the coverall,
like in a papoose.
Yes, in a papoose. I don't know what that is, but
it's what the kangaroos have.
Oh, okay, yeah. So sort of a thing. So she reached down to say hi to Alf, and then below Alf was the real Alf.
Good-looking woman. Costume.
I don't remember if she was wearing a costume. So then we retired to this, there was a sex room.
Wait, you retired? I like that.
Thank you. I too am like James Bond. And
was the dad from Elf there?
No,
the sex party.
Isn't he dead or something?
No,
but oddly there were no cats around.
Kill me. So then she went down on me in front of all these guys and in front of all these couples, and I remember feeling like, this is absurd. I feel like an idiot. Like, what am I in my parents' 70s sex swinging party. Like it was an idiotic feeling to.
I've often thought about sex parties because I had a girlfriend that wanted to go to them, and I just the idea of like I'm gonna fuck in front of other people is just kind of like
I felt like a fool. I felt like an idiot.
It's one of those things. People are either into it or they're not.
Right, and I think I found out.
The ones who are into it, it's like the greatest thing in the world. And then if you're not, you're like, okay, this. What if I do 10 right now?
Yeah,
I'll do a tight 10 for you.
Yeah. Like that seems like it just seems embarrassing.
So I wasn't that into that, but it did go down. And then
did you complete yourself?
Yeah. Oh, I busted. Yeah, man. I'm not gonna stop.
I think I'm gay.
Did you? How long did it take?
I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
How long ago?
Like 10 years, probably.
Got it.
So then the second time was with a girlfriend.
So this is pre-AIDS. Go ahead.
Before I got AIDS, you mean?
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
before I was contracted AIDS.
And you were sober as sin during this.
I was indeed, yeah. All my sex. I only had sex one time before I got sober. So every nasty, fucked up decision I've ever made sexually has been with a clean, sober, clear, sharp mind.
Don't feel bad. Done plenty myself.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
I'm with you on that train.
The second time was with a girlfriend and another couple, and this was bad. We found them on Craigslist, and we went and we met them at their apartment. And I first of all, let me just say, I couldn't get erect. I was just completely like intimidated.
What was their apartment like?
I don't know.
But I'm saying like you met at their apartment.
Yeah.
See, the first thing I think is like, what does that smell like?
It didn't smell like.
Just other people's apartments creep me out, where it's like you can just smell what they ate.
What are you talking about?
Spooky. It was spooky.
I'm talking about going to people's apartments.
People's houses freaks you out?
For a sexual encounter, I'd be like, let's maybe get a motel.
I don't know. We went to their place.
A motel doesn't sound good.
The weirdest thing was that, first of all, I was so tripped out by the fact that there was another dude there who I wasn't we were both so uncomfortable with each other's presence that we were kind of like looking to the. No one was. We weren't even saying hi, or we were just kind of like, ha ha ha. And I was just. It was the worst.
No costume.
No costume this time.
Well, that's what fucked it up.
Yeah, I should have had Alf.
You're a costume guy.
If I had Alf,
you can't be a costume guy and go with no costume.
Did the girlfriend pitch it?
No, it was all me.
Was she like?
Wait, were you pitching a threesome or like a other couple some?
I was just like, let's try some shit.
Let's mix it up.
We had like a profile on like kink.com or something like that,
right.
trying to find this situation. And then the third time was with that girl after we had broken up, and a girl that I was currently dating. So it was a current girlfriend and an ex-girlfriend, and that was incredible. That was the best because there was so much comfort. It was so comfortable and great, and it was just so much fun.
Are there times do you think threesomes are preferable to
in general I would say no, but there's something pretty incredible about getting head from two women at the same time, or having sex with one woman while another woman is going down on the other woman. I mean, it's pretty incredible. And the fourth time is in the future when two girls from the Champs listening email me and ask me.
I'm always you guys read the emails. Girls like the sex talk.
Yeah.
Because whenever we're talking about like road pussy, and you come on and go like, "May we take it easy on the pussy talk?" But that's the stuff that girls want to hear, guys.
Well, because they think it tells them how we think,
right?
But and I guess it does a little, but not really. Like women are never going to understand.
Do you think they would understand? Do you think they'd be upset by how kind of not ice cold we are, but just sort of
that's it exactly. You know what women get upset about? The disconnect.
Yeah.
Right.
The fact that a guy can fuck two girls and then get up in the morning and catch a plane.
In the morning.
And you know what I'm saying?
Shit,
but
I'll leave that night.
Yeah, but women don't.
You take red eyes? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Shit, I'm a red eye motherfucker, only fly at night.
Women can't understand the disconnect like that. They feel that somehow cheapens it or whatever. I don't know what it is.
I still love you.
Exactly. But and that's where like colleges. That's where you get in trouble. Like I didn't know Vince Champ.
Right.
I knew of Vince Champ.
Vince Champ, for those who don't know, was a guy who got caught raping women. He was a comedian.
He was a college comic and a serial rapist.
The original Champ, right? He started the Champ podcast.
This is what we're based on name for, as a tribute to him.
But like my college agent at the time, he talked there. He said, "Listen, you cannot fuck a college girl on the road because Well, for me, I was too old for it anyway, so it wasn't my thing. Like, I was never one of them guys that, I gotta have a barely legal chick. Like, I never got into that. But
I find young girls boring as fuck.
Yeah, but
like, the thing, a 19-year-old feel like,
Yeah, he said because a young girl falls in love, and if you have a 19-year-old girl in Minnesota say that Mr. L.A. raped me when he was in town, you're fucking done. Like, who are they gonna? Somebody gonna get pregnant. You know what I mean? Who are they gonna? You're fucking done. You will be in jail so fast. And I was like, I
so
can't
you think that Vince
chance.
Champ raped? He didn't rape any of those girls. They all fell in love.
Listen, I have no idea. I didn't know the guy. Whatever. I think he was guilty from what I've been told, but I have no idea. But I'm just saying in general, like to me, that's the worst thing that could happen. But you'd set yourself up for it. For some young girl to say he raped me, it's like the Mike Tyson thing.
Yeah. I believe
he
it.
raped me. Fuck, Mike Tyson was well. That's fucking Mike Tyson. Yeah, he raped you.
He rapes everybody.
Yeah,
he's not capable of having sex.
Right.
All he can do is rape.
He
raped his wife.
I think that it's hard to get laid after college gigs. I think
because no one sticks around.
And it's also weird to be like leering about.
Yeah.
Like, where are you guys off to? Anybody going to? It's like ridiculous.
Yeah. It depends on who you are, because the younger comics, if you're a comic,
right,
25 to 28. Then the college girls want to fuck you because you're not a college boy,
right?
But you're not old. But you're just not one of their. Yeah, right.
Whenever I do colleges, there's always just like the girls who arranged it are around after. It's never just like we got it. No girls have ever stuck around.
The funniest one for me was I was doing Syracuse, and you know how they have the student drive you around, like they pick you up at the airport, and the girl drive, and she's like hitting on me, and I said,
how
to
old
her,
is she?
She's 20, 21 or something. And I said to her, I'm older than your father. And she was like, no, you're not. And at the time, I think I was like 44. And she was like, oh, shit. You are.
And then she started
my dad's like 42.
And that was the girl who could deep throat anything.
I think that's unbelievable, man.
No, but it was funny because it was like she had no idea. Like she completely, her whole energy changed when she realized. But I knew it. It's like, man, I can't. I'm like, I can't fuck a 20-year-old. We ain't got nothing to talk about. There was one time in Seattle, it was a random thing. This young girl had an old guy thing. She wanted to fuck an old guy, and I was lucky enough to be the guy, and it was crazy. And it was like, wow. But again,
did
that
you
was
act
just
old?
something.
Would you go like, what is going on over there?
Turn that shit around.
What was having a heart attack?
What was your name again,
little missy?
It wasn't Louis C.K.'s show. This shit was real, and it was fucking amazing.
Oh, was it good?
It was a good. Oh, hell yeah.
You keep in touch with her?
Yeah, it was a good day. I did for a while.
Yeah.
But
you don't, as an old guy, you couldn't use a computer, correct? I don't understand the email.
You kept in touch for a while, but then her parents moved her out of state.
you say that, and then she's like, text me. You're like, give me that phone. You fucking text up a dream. Yeah.
All right, and then you're
doing the black guy character.
So now you're sober. You've been sober.
Been sober a long time.
What was your bottom?
Crack.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a crackhead. Absolutely.
Crack's pretty great.
Yeah, crack's good. In the first time.
Right.
It's too good the first time, and but yeah, I absolutely bottomed.
But you still it doesn't stink the last time, right? Or you're just trying to.
Oh no, you're not even getting high anymore.
Really?
At the end, you're just using college. You're using because you have to,
right?
But you're not getting high because your resistance, your body's broken down, everything else. It's just something you have to do. You might get that initial blast on the first hit, but that's it. You can't.
Peeps,
that's why like guys like Richard Pryor, like he said, that's what killed him was he had so much money that he could keep buying drugs. You know what I mean? Because you reach a point where drugs aren't getting you high anymore. But if you have unlimited money like he did, and like rock stars and shit like that, you just consume such massive quantities. Because it's all about chasing the high.
And you're just trying to get
You're never going to get it.
And you technically can never get that again.
You'll never get it again. Yeah.
Did you were smoking crack? Did you have a house? You were employed?
When I bottomed, I was in a one-room apartment. Rent wasn't paid. I was like on an eviction notice, and I was working, but
you were repairing airplanes that would fly people around.
Yeah,
but you still have your license, correct?
Yeah, but see, here's the thing about that is like everybody in the program, everybody sober did their job high. You know what I mean? Like, and fortunately, like nothing I ever worked on was ever fucked up, because the underlying thing in my brain, I needed that job for money.
Right.
So I was good at it because I had to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
It wasn't like I could not. And then, aircraft, you have a lot of inspectors and everything. But again, it sounds really dramatic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't.
But if you're a truck driver, you're driving an 80-ton truck and you're on fucking meth, and and there are doctors who will tell you, I did surgery high, because it's their job, it's what they do. I mean, could they? That's potential for a horrific catastrophe, but thank God that didn't happen.
Yeah. I find
like Moshe's eating pussy. Right. There's times
I
when
hit
he
rock bottom,
completely missed the pussy.
That's right. I was all up in the ass.
He was in ass. He was in hairy thigh.
I was in back.
He was
upper
in
neck.
hairy thigh.
I was in
and
lower
he's
neck.
like, this shit ain't working. And she's like, this fucker's licking my thigh. He won't leave.
Yeah.
Look at my thing.
And that's when I hit rock bottom.
And then
literally rock bottom.
All right. So then
I have footage.
you were eviction notice, and you were like, I got to fucking.
No, you know what happened? I got busted.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I got busted, man. When I got arrested, that was my moment when it was like, because
where'd you get arrested?
In Van Nuys.
Of course.
Because there's always a point that like where you're like, okay, I shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? Like that moment, they call it that moment of clarity, when you realize, like, for whatever reason, okay, my life should not be here. Like, that was the feeling I had when the cuffs came out, and it was real, and it, like, you can't bullshit your way out of it.
Now you
it's not like a traffic ticket, you know what I mean? And I was like,
what was the scenario?
It was possession. It was, driving down the street, and I bought a rock, and the cops raided the street. They come in from all sides and shit, and I'm busted.
I feel that feeling every week on the Champs.
But in that moment, it was like, that's when I realized I had fucked my entire life up, like everything, because again, I was lucky, right? I grew up, my parents, good people, middle class, got an education, had a job. In other words, I'm doing everything right, and I've reached this point where now I fucked all of that up. Like, this was not the plan for me to end up on a back street in Van Nuys, wearing handcuffs with busted for a fucking crack rock.
Did you know, like, oh, I'm done?
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
So then, was it liberating? Were you like, oh, good, now I can fucking...
No, it was, I don't know if liberating is the right word. My attitude changed, because I had been to rehab before, but before, when I went to rehab, I was just like, this is bullshit. What the fuck? Now I went back to rehab with like, fuck, I want to get sober. I want to stop.
Do you think
so? It was, I don't know if liberating is the right word. It was just eye-opening. It was like the ultimate reality check.
Right.
Do you think you would be a comic today if you hadn't gotten busted and gotten sober?
No.
So in a way, it was the great.
Well, I would have, when you start, like, you guys started young, and it's all you've ever
I didn't,
done.
but
well,
yeah.
you didn't. Well, you were a writer.
Yeah.
And so the only thought that I have is like, wow, what if I had started doing this shit when I was 18?
Yeah.
Like, if I had been around for the comic boom in the 80s.
Yeah.
Because there were comics like George Wallace, who helped me a lot when I was new. George told me, he's like, man, you're good. Like, if you had started this shit 10 years ago,
George is going to do the show.
You'd probably be rich now. You know what I mean? Because George was like, because you were good at this shit. But who knows? I wouldn't have had the life experience, whatever.
Yeah.
Things happen the way they happen. I wouldn't have met the guys who opened up the entertainment business to me. Now,
and who knows? Maybe you're.
So was it a good thing? I don't know. It depends on, do you believe in there's a master plan in life, or does shit just happen?
Yeah, the master plan. Well, the Jews, we created the master plan, and it's
you really fucked it up then, because you should have told me about this economic meltdown. Well, I could have had some credit default swaps, and I wouldn't even fucking be talking to you right now.
We didn't.
I was in St. Bart's looking at those yachts, saying, that Wall Street crime.
Yeah,
that's the way to go.
Some shit.
I have to pay my intern.
Okay, and then you and you never. So you went to rehab a second time.
Yeah, and I've been sober since.
And was it? Do you? Yeah, cracks. Have you never did crack?
Something. Swish. I don't miss it at all. Like, I've been around.
You don't miss
comics.
crack?
I don't miss getting high. I don't miss getting drunk. I've been around comics who get high, party, do this or that, and it's like, I've already done it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so it's like, have fun. I don't judge people. Like, if you want to get drunk, you want to get high, I don't give a shit. I don't want a fucking drunk in my face talking to me, because that's just fucking
the worst,
boring and stupid and shit. But I don't tell anyone don't do it or whatever. It's like, it's do what you want to do. I don't miss it. I'm done. So when people are like, man, don't you miss like the Super Bowl? Like, don't you miss having a beer? It's like, no, because fuck a beer. Like, you talk to a crackhead, fuck a beer.
Beer?
Get the fuck out of here. I'll hit you with a beer.
Take your money, buy some crack, get arrested in Van Nuys and start all over.
Now, did you, what was the, I don't think we got to the top tier pussy. Top tier road pussy.
I thought it was Don Herrera pussy.
No, that was a sidebar.
No.
Side tier.
No, he said you got 45 minutes after you get off stage.
Yeah, no, I'd say top tier. I've been with some women that were stunningly beautiful. You know, that I don't think, I don't know if I would have got them if I wasn't a comic.
Right.
And then I've been in situations where, you know, like where I wouldn't be if I wasn't a comic. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I have access. I can get backstage. I can be, you know, whatever. So, but then it's like the best women I've been with in my life, they weren't with me because I was a comic.
Right.
Although a couple of them I never would have met if I hadn't been a comic.
Yeah, you've never been married?
No, never been married. I was
kids?
married to this, man. I was
married to the game.
I was in love with this. I've been in love with this since I started doing it. And in my 30s, when most people get married, I was, you know, working my way up the food chain. Like, I was an opener, then a middle, and it was like, I didn't want to get married and have a kid as a middle act, because you can't raise a kid on $400 a week, you know, in Iowa. And I didn't want to, and I'm not going to be irresponsible, you know, because I wasn't raised that way. You know what I mean? Like, I had my dad's big thing. He was a provider. So, like, you learn what you live. So that's what I learned, that a man is the provider. So,
are your parents bummed that you didn't have kids?
No, they haven't. If they are, they haven't said anything.
They didn't say.
Both your parents still alive?
My mom's still alive.
How old is she?
My mom's 78, and my dad was 87. And 87. I think it was a thing of
strong genes.
Yeah, they were happy. They're happy that I'm happy. Mm-hmm. I think my mom would love to see me get married and have a kid. But
would you love to see yourself get married and have a kid?
Do you want to be a bachelor to the rapture?
I would love to get married, but the longer you're single, the harder it is to do.
That's so true, man.
Yeah.
You know,
I can feel
it's hard.
I can feel the Gulliver-like strings holding me down, being formed on top of my body.
You got to, you know, things like learning to compromise and shit like that. Like, you know, I'm an old bachelor. An old bachelor is a fucking
bachelor to the rapture.
Yeah, that's. You know, but then I look at guys. I look at, like you were talking about, Moshe. I look at guys, you know, 70 years old and single. That shit is not pretty. You know, but
you want somebody
there. I think it's none of it's pretty, because 70-year-old married isn't pretty either.
It is too.
But part of this business is, and you sign up for this when you do it. This shit does not end well.
Yeah.
For most people,
right,
this shit does not end well. This shit ends, you know, it may not end horribly.
Right.
But you kind of fade, you know, and you
That's
end
one
up,
of the worst things I've ever heard in my life.
You fall into, you know, so I don't know. It's
you're right though.
I would love to.
But what if you're? But do you think that if it fades, do you feel like having a wife would soften the blow?
Yeah, because then maybe this isn't the most important thing in your life, or more importantly, and this is what's really tough. And I see this with a lot of my musician friends. A lot of them have these phenomenal wives who've been with them from the start and the whole thing. And she understands that's your first love, and she's okay with it. She supports it, and she's not jealous of it. She knows, like, there's a place that you go that she can't go to. You know what I mean? And as a comic, that's true. There's a time, like, when I'm on stage, you know, that's the best time of my life.
Yeah.
You know, and the greatest thing
the audience
for me,
as well. They feel the same way when you're on stage. It's the best time of your life.
The greatest thing for me is to be on stage creating.
Yeah.
You know, when I say some shit I never said before and it's funny, that's the greatest feeling in the world. And you can't get that anywhere. And some people think it's the thing of, the adoration of a mass of people. But to me, that's not it. For me, it's the creativity. Like, I just made these motherfuckers laugh with nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that moment.
Do you think, though, Alonzo, that the reason that's the pinnacle human experience for you is because, and don't take this the wrong way, that you haven't experienced that kind of connection with another person?
I had experienced that connection with another person, and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And
how close did it get?
it got like that was the one time, that was the girl I was going to marry. And
this is while you were a comic?
Yeah, this is while I was a comic. But she like freaked out, and she literally left and hooked up with another guy and blah blah blah. It was a
Dan Cook.
Yeah, it was a whole drama thing. Now, I still know her. We're still friends and this and that. And 10 years later, 12 years later, I'm glad we didn't.
Is she married to that guy?
No. But
why are you glad you didn't get married?
Because of because I was in love with who I thought she was, not who she was.
When did you realize who she was? When she started acting crazy?
No, after she went through a really bad life situation and came out on the other side, and I was one of the people that she reached out to, and and I was happy to help her, because once you're in love with somebody like that, you'll always love them.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, this is not like, this is who you are. You know what I mean?
Right.
And even she has a thing, I think, of not knowing who she is.
Right.
Yeah,
but I can't make that decision.
I sometimes feel like, back to this Lost Boys collective that we are, I sometimes feel like that. Like, I look around, there's certain people who have these really healthy relationships, and I kind of squint at them like I don't understand. But I look around at so many comedians seem to be like us, like, and we're we're like I'm about 20 years apart, and I feel a lot of kindred emotions to what you're saying. And it's like, and Neal too, I always look at Neal, we've talked about this before, I keep waiting to become Neal, because Neal is like, I want to be single, I'm down with this.
Now, Neal shit's going to end horribly. Not even bad. It's going to be horrible. There'll be a movie.
Yeah, but Neal doesn't have to.
I'm going to direct another movie?
No, you won't be around for it. You won't be around.
Huh?
You won't.
Don't you think being single makes you kind of be healthier?
No.
Do people live longer when they're single?
The
No,
stats are men live longer if they're married. I don't believe that. I think I would die.
Married people live longer.
Shortly into marriage.
The other thing is you have someone to take care of you.
Yeah.
I mean, I have friends, and again,
to me, that's what Mexicans are for.
This is what sucks. This is what sucks about getting older.
That's what interns are for me.
I got interns and Mexicans.
But last year, I
have to pay my
experienced
intern.
where friends had like, I have a really good friend of mine. I mean, he's older than me, early 60s, but he had a stroke and he's in a home. Like, that's real, and he has nobody. You know what I mean? And that's like, fuck. Not to say that I'm looking to marry somebody so I'll have a nurse when I fall apart.
That's
the
with
beauty.
That in mind, I'm like, I can't.
That's
I don't
the most romantic thing about marriage, is that there's someone to take care of your after you have a stroke.
No, you know what it is? You have somebody you have history with. That's the thing that, like, at my age, like, I'm 50, I'll be 50 this year, right? So I don't know if I'll ever have history with somebody.
Right.
And when I see guys who've been married, like, I got a buddy who I went to high school with, and he just celebrated his 30th anniversary, and his kids are grown. And, like, the thing that he has that I'll never have is he has 30 years of history with his wife. Mm-hmm. So every accomplishment, everything he's done in his life, and he's fucking mega successful. He stayed in aerospace, and he's like a, upper echelon executive and all that. But he has someone who did all that. Like, if I had somebody who'd made the comedy journey, like when I won Last Comic Standing,
right?
The girl I was with, she was great, but she didn't know what that meant,
right?
Because she didn't know about the 10 years to get to Last Comic Standing.
I have another theory about that, which is the things that I've experienced are the things that I find that life is a solitary experience. Even the shit that you think you're sharing with somebody, I find that you have very different experiences.
But that's what I was going to say with Alonzo. You're talking about that girl. You might have gone home with her, but you really went home alone.
Right.
Even that night.
They don't share the experience in the same way, but it's a great experience for them too. Right. However she's been watching you, however she's been a part of your life, it means a lot to her, and you'll hear that from women when the guy, or from guys, it doesn't happen as often, but a guy with a woman. But when somebody makes that big accomplishment, like I have a friend who we've been friends since '82. We've been through everything in each other's lives. Like she's gotten married and she has kids, and like I was at her wedding and I know her kids are grown up now, and she's the one who's known me. So when I won that show, she was the one who was like, knew everything that I've been through in my life to get to that point. You know what I mean? And she knew about the drugs and the sobriety and all of that shit. So she was the one who was really like, you get it.
Right.
You understand what this moment means. And the other thing
Jerry Seinfeld says that you can't make new old friends.
No,
Right.
you can't.
It's like true.
And the other thing is,
It's one,
is
the
like-
one
this
thing
shit
Jerry
is-
Seinfeld was right
That
about.
is like true.
this shit is hard on a woman and a relationship. They don't
For
get
sure.
it.
Who would want to date us?
You know what
Who
they-
would want this?
You know what they don't get? They don't get when you killed and you're miserable.
Right.
They never understand that. Like, and we've all had that experience where the
Right.
crowd is cracking up and you walk off and you're like, man,
I'm a fucking idiot.
I fucking hate myself
Right.
for whatever. And they'll never understand that. You know what I mean? But other I think that's why we end up fucking hooking up with other creative types.
Right.
But
Right.
you want to hook up with a real creative type, not some, not just the wannabe fucking video vixen who's, I'm an actress. No, you did 2 videos.
Right. You were great in them.
Look great. That ass.
Man. That ass. All that ass. All right. We, this.
I hate that ass.
Well, that has been we went up in the sky and crashed down to the earth, and we ate
Kaboom.
pussy in between. And I think that was a very nice discussion.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alonzo Bodden.
Thank
is
you.
now officially a champ.
Thank you for fucking with us,
Alonzo. Thanks for coming. You
Man.
were wonderful. I feel like
Sweet.
we only scratched the surface.
We will have you back.
But God bless you.
Thank
God
you, man.
bless your whole shit.
Thank
you. Alonzo's a great comic. If you're ever
Yeah, go fuck with him. AlonzoLive.com, at Douggpound, at Neal Brennan, at Moshe Kasher. You've been fucking with the champ, so you just got fucked.
Bam. Bitches.
And you just got fucked. Douggpound.
I blew it.
Yeah,
My
Douggpound
song
blew
that I
it.
had queued up is gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have done fucked with the champs, and now you're about to get fucked by DJ Douggpound when he puts the music on right now.
Doug,
and go.
Now is your big chance.
Here you go.
And here we go.
We don't
Doug,
need music.
Doug
Why do we
Pound.
gotta have music every time?
Okay. Good
cares?
night.